welcome back to the channel. In our past video we talked about what syntax is in programming, the rules that every programming language follows. But today we are going to take the next step and talk about something every programmer deals with constantly, debugging. So what is debugging? Debugging is the process of finding and fixing errors or bugs in a program. A bug is simply a mistake in your code that causes it to behave incorrectly or crash. But have you ever wondered why we call errors a bugs? The term became popular in 1947 when engineers working on an early computer found an actual moth stuck inside the machine, causing it to malfunction. They removed it and noted it as a bug. Since then, the term has stuck and fixing problems became known as debugging. Now let's understand why debugging is so important. No matter how experienced a programmer is, writing perfect code on the first try is almost impossible. Errors are a natural part of programming, so instead of avoiding them, programmers focus on identifying and fixing them efficiently. Debugging helps us make our program work correctly, improve code quality, understand our mistakes, and become better problem solvers. Now let's look at how debugging actually works. The debugging process usually involves a few key steps. First step is identify the problem. You notice that something is wrong. Maybe your program is crashes or maybe the output is not what you expected. Second step is reproduce the error. Try to make the error happen again. This helps you understand when and why the problem occurs. Third step is find the source. This is where you carefully go through your code to locate the exact line or logic that is causing the issue. You might check variables, conditions, or function calls. Fourth step is fix the error. Once you find the issue, you correct it. Maybe by fixing syntax, adjusting some logic, or handling special cases. And fifth and last step is test again. Finally, you run the program again to make sure everything works correctly and that no new errors have been introduced. Now let's talk about some common debugging techniques. Using print or console logs. This this is one of the simplest methods. You add print or console logs in your code to check values or variables and see how program flows using a debugger tool. Most programming environments provide a debugger that allows you to pause execution, inspect variables and step through the code line by line. Reading errors messages carefully. Error messages often tell you exactly what went wrong and where. Learning how to read them properly can solve a lot of time. Breaking the code, breaking the problem into smaller parts. Instead of checking the entire program at once, divide it into sections and test each part separately. And fifth is rubber duck debugging. This might sound funny, but it works. You explain your code line by line to a rubber duck or even to a friend. While explaining, you often discover the mistake yourself. Earlier, we discussed syntax errors. These are usually easy to debug because the system tells you exactly what's wrong. But debugging becomes more challenging when dealing with runtime errors and logical errors, where the problem is not always obvious. That's why debugging is considered both a technical and a thinking skill. It requires patience, attention to details, and logical reasoning. Before we end, there are few quick tips for better debugging. First of all, don't panic when you see an error. Read your error slowly and carefully. Test your code frequently. Keep your code clean and organized. And most importantly, practice regularly. To conclude this video, debugging is not just about fixing errors, it's about understanding your code deeply. Every bug you fix makes you a stronger programmer. So, next time your code doesn't work, don't get frustrated. Start debugging. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more programming content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.